battlefield. All right. Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek TV at Gen Con 2014. I'm sitting down with designer Robert Burke. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, our pleasure. And you have brought us Draco Magi, excuse me.
Draco Magi,
I know. Draco. Yeah.
Draco Magi.
Draco.
I know, I'm not very good at naming games. I'm working on it.
Yeah, but you picked a great name for your company.
Robert Burke Games,
Robert Burke
easy.
Games.
I won't forget it. My mother loves that name. Right.
But I realized as you were setting up that I was lucky enough to be able to play, I believe it was a Kickstarter copy of this game. And
awesome.
So, yeah.
A prototype it had to be.
Yes.
Because there's only 4 production copies in the States right
yes,
now.
no, it was. I did get my hands on a prototype copy of.
Awesome.
So I feel particularly blessed that I've had the chance to play this already.
Awesome.
So,
did you win?
Yes.
Good job.
Which I say with great surprise because I'm very good at teaching games and outstandingly bad at winning them. So it's always a surprise and an accident when I win. But let's dive in because I'm going to say we're going to pause in your explanations to check out card art because when I was playing this I said, wow, this is astounding. Cool. But why don't you dive in on what is the turn going to feel like? What are we trying to do?
Well, the game it's a 2-player card game. It only supports 2 players. And each player is going to be a Dragon Mage acolyte. And they're trying to rise to power because the Dragon King has died. So as a 2-player card game, you are going to try to win 3 gems of different colors or 3 gems of the same color to become the new Draco Magi, the new Dragon King. So you're vying for power, and you're doing that by commanding your dragons to the battlefields. So each of these cards in the middle represent different battlefields where your dragons are going to fight each other. Mm-hmm. If you win a battlefield, you're going to gain that card, and you're going to win the associated gem that's printed on that card. So the player who first gets the right combination immediately wins the game, and that's
the victory.
Victory. That's right. So the game's got some unique elements. The game starts with a draft. Each player has their own deck of battle cards, and each battle card has 2 different sections. And this game was designed with Richard Launius, by the way. I got to give him all the credit for coming up with this design on these battle cards. It was originally dice, and we kind of went to this for a bunch of different reasons. But the top is for ranged attacks only. It shows you successes when you make a ranged attack, and successes when defending against a ranged attack. And then on the bottom is used during the melee phase. So this is when the dragons are actually on top of each other, biting and clawing at each other. When they're flying into the battlefield is when you'll flip cards to see how many ranged attack hits you get. So every player is going to start with their own identical deck of battle cards, but then there's going to be a draft from the advanced battle deck. Those are more powerful cards. So each player is going to get 3 of those at the beginning of the game. They're going to keep one for themselves, give one to their opponent, and the other one's going to get shuffled back into that deck. And then there's other ways during the gameplay to earn more of those cards to add to your battle deck. And after each round, each player is going to gain 1 and add 1 for free to their deck.
Yeah, and they're a little bit beefier.
They're a little beefier, that's right. So you're going to get more powerful as the game goes on, and it's going to quicken up a little bit. So there's some cool things, like all the dragons have very different abilities.
Here, and I'm just going to move our battlefield here so we can lay out a couple of these. Because you also have not only the color also indicates the sort of a different dragon type as well.
Right. So yeah, all different. There's a bunch of different dragon types. There's 4 chromatic dragons, there's 4 metallic dragons, and then there's a bunch of special dragons. So all the dragons have a ranged attack. Some don't. So this dragon, for example, can't make a ranged attack. They have a melee value. It shows you how strong they are in the melee battle. And then they have a ranged defense value as well. So the higher the number, the better the dragon is at that specific thing. But what makes the game really unique is the special abilities that they all have. They all fit a certain niche in the game, whether if it's an offensive, they might be good at ranged attacks, they might be good at defense, they might be good at stealth, they might fit a purely strategic element in the game. So you kind of learn where each dragon fits and how to play them. So for example, the bronze dragon here, his ability is when he flies into a battlefield, he can turn the battlefield over because all these are double-sided.
Right, and might have a different color gem that might be more advantageous
Exactly.
to you.
It's going to do one of two things. It'll change the color of the gem, like that changed from yellow to red, or the gem will stay the same and it will change the battlefield. And all the battlefields have modifiers as well. So, if your opponent needs a red gem to win the game, you might want to throw a bronze dragon to flip it over and deny him that victory. Or you might be doing it because you think you're going to win it to try to win the game. So it's got a lot of unique elements, the way the different dragons play off each other. And it's a very simple game. It comes in a pretty small package.
Yeah, and from personal experience, I remember, teaching this took less than 5 minutes.
Yep.
Really.
Yep.
And I found also, I felt it was very manageable to read the different powers of the dragons. I was able to absorb that very, very
and
quickly.
Understand
So
that.
yeah.
Right. Well, cool. That's great to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. See, accidental player testing.
Yep.
Now, of course, this is 2-player only.
It's 2 players.
But
That's right.
if you were going to put an average time on this, what would you think?
I think this is a 30-minute game,
Yeah.
really. And once players know it, it can be less than that. While you're learning it, of course, it could take up to 45 minutes or an hour until you know how to play the game, but that doesn't take long, I don't think.
Now, obviously, you mentioned that we just have a couple print-ready copies here at the
Yes.
fair. When are we expecting?
The game is actually on a boat right now
Yay!
from China, so it will be in the port of Miami on September 2nd, and then it's going to go out to all the Kickstarter backers first. After those are fulfilled, it will go out to all the pre-orders, and then we'll set an actual release date, probably be in October,
Yeah.
when we'll make it generally available to the public.
That's a really specific date of when the boat will arrive.
I know, and it better be there on September 2nd. Yeah. It's funny because on the Kickstarter, because you can track these boats. They have websites where it shows you the GPS coordinates, so I sent that out to all my backers, so you can go look and see exactly where it is.
That's hysterical. Either that or you send a dragon out after them.
Yeah.
Flame the back of the boat. Come on,
Quicken
hurry it along.
Exactly.
Well, Robert, thank you so much for bringing us one of the very few copies in existence.
You're welcome. Thanks.
I always want to call it Draco Magi.
You can call it that. That's all right.
Yeah, just me or everybody. Well, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of the show.
Thank you. Thank you.